Hey, does your website do your brand justice? We're about to find out. My next guest has worked with some of the world's leading online marketers and influencers, and he's very much around high performance websites. Welcome, Greg Merrilees.
Hey Trevor, thanks for having me, buddy.
G'day, Greg. Greg is from Studio1 Design. I just mentioned, Greg, your area of expertise is in the design of high-performance websites. Who are some of
Yeah.
the names you've worked with, and what are the biggest differences in terms of maybe their websites versus that of your average garden variety business website?
Yeah, so I mean, for a start, we've designed the most recent was for Jordan Harbinger, who won the iTunes Best Podcast of last year, where he gets 5 million downloads per month, right? So that's probably the highest profile. Sorry, other than Frank Oz, the voice of Yoda and the Muppets, we designed a website for him last year. So they're probably the biggest names. But yeah, a few online marketers like James Schramko and Ezra Firestone, and sort of people that concentrate on online marketing for their main revenue
Yeah.
streams. The main differences between their websites and just a regular website would be that they put it in the hands of professionals for a start, right? They don't try to do it themselves because they understand that if they're to be perceived as the leader in their niche, then they want a website that reflects that and gives them the best chance of being seen in the best light.
You do hear around the traps, yeah, you got to have a website, but it's, unless you're in e-commerce, it's not, it's a bit old school. What's your
Yeah.
thoughts about that?
Yeah, so I mean, a website needs to be a whole lot more than just an online brochure, right? There's approximately 2 billion websites online today, and that's growing with the pandemic. We've had about a 30% increase in leads and sales over the last month. It's just crazy. So, you can guarantee that in the next few years, there's going to be a lot more websites in your niche. So you need to stand out, and you can't have an online brochure. It needs to be an online marketing machine, and that's what we specialize in.
So what's the biggest mistake you see that businesses make with their website? Is it one mistake, or is it a series of mistakes, like a death by a thousand cuts?
There are a death by a thousand cuts, but I would say the most important thing is the messaging, right? So what we like to do on a website is make sure that when a visitor lands on your page, like they're subconsciously thinking things like, do I understand your offer? What do you do? How will I benefit from your offer? Do you have a solution to my problem? And like, why should I trust you over your competitors, right? So to me, that all comes down to the wording that you use on the website and then the visual hierarchy that supports that.
And so, how can businesses take their website to a whole new level? What would be the way that you approach a high performance website?
Yeah, so well, number one is definitely clarity. Like that's the most important thing.
Yeah,
And then there's really three principles: clarity, strategy, and persuasion. Right. So strategy is really lead in with value. So you can't sell on hello. You cannot get somebody to buy from your homepage. You need to take them to a landing page or a product page to do that. So that's a mistake I see people trying to get people to buy something on their homepage.
Yep.
So you want to lead with value instead. And what that means is you want to give away something for free, and it could be free content, just like you're doing now, Trevor. It could be video, it could be podcasts, could be blog posts, audio, anything like that that's going to show that you're an authority and you're knowledgeable in your subject matter. And then you want to have an opt-in, something where it might be a downloadable PDF or a free course or something like that, that once again positions you as the authority, and you give that to them in return for an email address. Right. So then once you've got their email address, you want to take them to a thank you page. And this is another mistake most people do is they just say, hey, thanks for downloading the free thing. But instead, you want to have a face to camera video thanking them for what they've just done, and then invite them to the next step in your funnel. And whatever that is, might be a free call or a bonus or a take action now type of thing. And then what you want to do in that video at the end is deal with their objections and answer their FAQs and all those things. If you get that right and then invite them to the next step, they're more likely to take action.
Yeah, so you've mentioned video a few times, a thank you page with, again, a video. How important is video? I'm tipping you think it's pretty important, but I'm a great believer in humanizing your brand generally, and a website's a terrific place to start with that. What are your recommendations to businesses about putting their people online and doing a lot more video?
Yeah, spot on, Trev. And look, I get it because I was scared to put myself on video, right? So, but the thing is, if you do and your competitors aren't, it's just another element, another trust building element that will let people see your body language and potentially trust you because of the way you come across on video, right? So, now you can use video in lots of ways. You can use it on your homepage, you can use it on your sales pages, your thank you pages, but also for your customers. You can tell the story of your customers through video in what we call a case study, which is really just showing people what their situation looked like before, how you help them, and then what their situation looks like after. And then just coming back to the homepage video, it's just something that should be about 1 to 2 minutes long. And we like to use what's called the spin selling framework, which is a book by Neil Rackham called Spin Selling, and it's essentially letting people know, it's an acronym, SPIN. S is the situation, that you understand the situation that they're in. P is the problem, so you talk deeper about the problem. I is the implication if they don't address the cause of that problem. And N is the need or the payoff, which is your solution to that problem. So you put that in a video and it's a killer formula.
And I guess the thing there is, and we talk a lot on the show here at Brand Builders, is about building trust. And as you say, how can you use your website to build those trust factors and people and videos, and social proof is another thing, testimonials, all of those things. Do they all sort of come into your thinking?
100%, yeah. So, I mean, you can't just have a pretty website. It does need to have these psychological drivers built into it that will help persuade people to take action. So one of them is, like you just said, testimonials. Social proof is huge. And that could be in the form of written or video or case studies, there's or even reviews if you have an e-commerce site, because that's the first place people go to see if your product is good, because others will be telling you, not you, right? So that's social proof. And then there's authority. So you want to show your authority, and you can do that by, it depends on your business model, but if, for instance, you've featured on, TV or this or that, or you've spoken from stage, or if you're on the tools, just at least show you and your whole crew with your vehicles in uniform, and just things that are going to give the perceived value of your offer, essentially. So that's authority. And then there's reciprocity, which is really leading with value. So people are more inclined to give to you if you give to them first, right? So reciprocity principle.
That's all the content that you create.
Spot on. Yeah, exactly. And that content also helps boost your authority because you're showing your knowledge, essentially. And then consistency. So you want to be consistent with your messaging, with your brand, all of your digital touch points, or your marketing touch points in general. You need to have a consistent look and feel, and a consistent voice as well of your brand. And then there's liking, so doing things like this, putting yourself on video. Even when it comes to reading people's social media comments, be likable and comment back, and don't ignore them. Yeah.
We always talk about know, like, and trust. We've probably ticked all of those boxes here today. Greg, just finally, I was looking through, you've done so many websites, and a lot of them are rippers. One that really jumped out at me is it's Betty Rocker. Is it bettyrocker.com?
The Betty Rocker.
Bettyrocker.com. I recommend people check out that website. It ticks every box. It's just really an exciting website to look at. It gives so much value. It's just clean, it's professional, Betty, she obviously has her act together, she's got her messaging, so it sort of ticks boxes about great content, great imagery, really dynamic website. Is that one of your favourites?
It is actually, yeah, and we do, send that to a lot of people to show, what we do, especially if we're in that health and wellness or lifestyle or fitness space, because she does it so well. But it wasn't an overnight success. She used to build her own website, and it was very average. She'll be the first one to tell you. In fact, I thought it was terrible, but it's slowly, then she invested in her brand, we took it to the next level, and then she keeps reinvesting it in her brand. And so it just keeps going up a notch. And and she understands the power of leading with value, and then she has an essential model for her low price products that lead into her expensive coaching, essentially.
She certainly does it well in a very crowded marketplace. All righty, where can people find you, Greg?
Yeah, well, thanks, Trevor. It's if you just go to Studio1Design.com, and that's the numeral 1, Studio1Design.com.
Terrific. Thanks for sharing all your expertise here today.
Pleasure. Thanks, Trevor.
Cheers.